Hola amigos, I've been shooting films for the past 1 year, and here's my take about it. It's not nostalgia, it's not the look. If you look at it, films made me, if I look at it into the different perspective, films made me slow down, be present, and make sure that I don't turn every digital thing that I do into a content. So this is what the video is gonna be about. My experiments with film photography. Cheers. So before I begin talking about my experience in relation to film photography, I think the first beginner step is for yourself to get a camera. For me, I ended up trusting this little Nikon FM2. It was, I think, born in the 80s, and it's a very well trusted camera. It's built like a tank, and so far I have got it. This guy has been with me in like 4 different countries, and so far it's been really good to me. I love the tactile feel. It allows me to really unplug in a way. There's no screen or camera, like the film is all you get inside, and then you are limited by the shots that you can really take. So it makes you really mindful too what you're taking, and then every perspective especially is sort of worth it, or maybe not too. So that's kind of like what it is. So yeah, the first thing that it teaches you, is like patience. We live in a digital world. We don't have to take, when you're shooting in digital form, we can take X amount of pictures based on your memory card, whatnot. But film is different. We've got either one still roll is like 36 shots or like 24, depending on the solution. We have to be really mindful. When I'm working with this sort of camera, I'm trying to slow the pace down. I'm looking at all the instruments, what my shutter speed looks like, whether or not light is good or not. You try to frame it, see it, and then shoot it. So it's more intentional process that I really enjoy, that I started really enjoying about the shooting photographs using my new old vintage little Nikon. And then you get the results. You have to wait. Sometimes it can be really weeks. Well, if the results are out or not. So yeah, it's just part of the second bit. I would say it helps you experiment. Here is not like all the rolls that I've shot in the last year, but it's like few of them. I have tried many different rolls, like funky colors, like these Lomo series film rolls, plus black and white, and with colors as well, like the true to color style films. My experience has been, it's fun, it's experimental. You can get as the light hits the shutter and the lens as it goes through it, and then hits the film, which is makes a chemical reaction and then turns it into a photograph as we see it. It's something magical. It's part of the fun, part of the experiments that we can come along with this journey. What you see is what you get, and sometimes the results can be whatever, and then I don't really care about the end result. It's about being connected to the art that you're trying to do, being connected to the shot that you're trying to take. I think those sort of intentional things is what really brought me into photography, and what I love about making art and creating something new, which hasn't been experimented before. So yeah, go experiment. Try as many rolls as you want, and then come up with your own unique perspective and look. Now that I touched upon experiments, the third thing I feel about is your mileage may vary in terms of what you develop, and where you get developed in these results from. And don't despair, that's also part of the fun. Imperfection is part of life. We don't have to have everything perfect, pixel crazy sharpness in the results. The imperfection itself tells a little bit of story. I've had some experiences going to an old market in Delhi and going to this photography studio, which was the only one that actually developed some rolls, but I ended up getting results that were really terrible and awfully bad. My film rolls basically got wasted. But that's also part of the fun. Like I tried something new, like, this is a lost art, we need to keep it going, keep it alive. And somehow supporting these people too, like maybe it might make them more intentional in trying to, like, really reproduce these results. At some point I'm gonna try, my hands are developing too, but I haven't got to that stage yet. But again, the results is everything part of this process, from getting a roll, shooting down. It can sit, these rolls can sit on my camera for months, and I may not have finished it. It's just part of the process, and I feel like we need to learn how to slow down, and that's the essential part, how we really disconnect and then reconnect with the place, with the art that we're trying to develop. So yeah, development can be tricky. One more thing I would say, add, like number 4 maybe, do not think about the end result. The ends can be, we shot something and then it would take like months or maybe weeks to get the results out. I feel like part of the process is you need to go out there, shoot, and then we don't have to think about it to make it as picture perfect as possible. Like shot can be like wavy, shot could have like high amount of grains, or maybe it has lost sharpness, but that is all in its part of the fun. I would show you like some of my camera rolls shots that have been terrible, and I still love them. It's like part of the process of learning and experimentation, that you go along and then you go along in this journey, and then you learn what you got right, what you got wrong. All of those things amalgamate together to create this sense of trueness in this aspect of hobby of film photography. I think the tactile feeling of creating a new result, new photograph, is just incredible in its own way. And that's what I really love about this process. And that's what I love about films. I guess so. Number 5, my thought would be make mistakes. If I look at my first ever roll I shot on this camera, and I filmed too, it was like an expired black and white film. And to what I did in the last one, I see a huge amount of improvement. And also like some fun little things that I learned, like what I really like shooting, what are the results that I got wrong, and all those things. And I can reflect, and then I feel like even the first results that came out were magical. I think patience is the key. You make mistakes, you experiment, and you learn. And then from there, you create like your own little self of collection of photographs that you have generated by yourself. I feel like I value any of these shots that I've taken, even the bad ones, are like one of the most cherished items or like pieces of photographs that I've ever generated, rather than in the past when I was doing anything working in the digital photography. Another fun aspect, what you see is what you get. The camera is, again, you can experiment with your films, but in the camera that you shot is what you get in the frame, in the shot. Like that's basically what it is, because it's purely mechanical. This guy is purely mechanical. There's no any like artificial like gibberish thing going on, like in the camera, like you see with computational photography in the digital sense. Like your pixels are not being converted into like something, into an AI version of a human. The imperfection, the grains, the beauty lies in itself about the shots. And I feel like that is like the true sense why we want to shoot with films. You don't have to edit anything in RAW. That's the perfect beauty of it, these films. Like what you got is the final result. There's no point editing, no point retouching those photos and trying to make it something which it was not. It's true to self, it's true to form, it's true to its nature. That is its true beauty. And my final point, I think we live in an overstimulated world. We are so far in tune and connected in the world, like in this digital sense. Everything is on instant, on our phone, on our like tablets, on our laptops. We are complexly bombarded with information all the time. A film camera is like this, and going towards analog process, it kind of teaches you really to slow down. look at the process, wait, and then maybe shoot with intention. Figure out, like, sometimes you may not even get that shot that you wanted because you ran out of the laurels. It has happened to me a few times, but I'm okay with it. It is that perfection, what we try to chase for perfection is what really kills us in society. And then film cameras are like another way to really reconnect our souls to what our true really sense is. And I think that is the thing essentially it has taught me. To ability to reflect, to process, and be able to capture those moments, even though if they're good or bad, in this 35 millimeter frame. And that is the essential beauty, and that's what I want to end on today. Maybe in the future I can talk about in the series like how I shot them, like what kind of experiments I did with the film rolls, all those things, and the lenses. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this little process that I started. There's plenty for me to learn too, how to develop roles, how to go about it, like, you know, but I would say as a first pass activity that I've been trying to do, it really made me connect to myself in a deeper way. And I feel like shooting films is somewhat of a magical process. I think it's nothing really changes effects shooting versus digital to film. I don't think you can ever recreate it. The feeling of this creating a shot that is totally genuine and real, like a tactile feeling, is what you don't get on digital form anymore. So cut down on the bullshit and get yourself any camera and start shooting. Cheers. So here I've come here to Somarari photography. It's one of the most incredible places on this planet, most beautiful place on earth. I don't know how I made it.